I'm telling you, you and Trish are really gonna hit it off.
Look, I'll have all weekend to decide for myself, okay?
She's got perfect breasts.
Oh, give me a break. Perfect breasts.
I'm telling you, I saw them.
You saw them, both of them?
Yes. We were all in a hot tub together.
A hot tub?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Nafa. It's the Doom Show. Hello, this is the Doom Show. Slashers, giallo, and horror. It's the Doom Show. The cuckoo clock interrupts the show. Doomed movie-thon. Death of the old salesman. Sweaty Cameron Mitchell. This is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Nafa. It's the Doom Show. It's the Doomed Show. Doomed Show.
And away we go. Hello and welcome to Hello, this is the Doom Show. I am Richard.
And I am Brad.
We are here in a cavern, a cavernous space, because are we spelunkers or are we miners?
Let's be spelunkers.
Because we're both over 18, am I right?
That's true.
Yay. Welcome back to the show once again, sir.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Of course. It has been too long, but not too long since we did our talking about, how was it? He Knows You're Alone?
He Knows You're a Closet.
Phil's weird. He's got insanity in his family. He's a closet!
I already played that clip just now. Brad, did you have something you wanted to say at the start of the show?
Yes, sir. This is the first time that we've recorded since our friend Nafa died. And I say our friend loosely because I never met Nafa in person. We never spoke to each other. We emailed, messaged on Facebook, and I cannot imagine the pain that his friends and family have gone through. You know, as long as I've known you, I've heard Nafa stories. Even before we met, when I was just following your blog, there was Nafa involved. We shared a love of Crowded House and Men at Work and found footage horror films. He was always very, very kind and nice to me. His death was a shock, and it just, the way I feel pales in comparison, I have no doubt, to his friends and family, you, Richard. But, I think about, you complaining about how soft-spoken he was on the podcast and how hard it was to edit because he was just so soft-spoken. And I think about Karate Joe, I think it is, from Impulse, and William Shatner, and I called him Samoan Thor. But it's just, and I know that we'll do a proper tribute show. I offer my sincere, heartfelt condolences to you, Richard, and anyone that's listening that knew Nafa. I haven't been able to get down to Tampa. Things have happened and this and that, but that was always going to be one of the highlights, was meeting Nafa. I was very excited about it, and it's very sad that he's gone, but a part of the show is gone, and it won't be the same now. But we need to cherish his music. We need to cherish the time that he was on the podcast. That will, in digital form, that will live forever. So go back and listen to 7 Deaths in a Cat's Eye or Impulse or a found footage episode and just, celebrate Nafa.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you saying that. I really appreciate all the kind things that the folks who listen, when I announced what had happened and he was gone. I really, really, really appreciate our great community of podcasters and friends who had nice things to say.
Absolutely.
And I echo everything you said. I just copy and paste the file and use my Richard voice filter on it.
There you go.
But it's by the time we've posted this episode, I will have posted the last 2 episodes I was able to record with him. I'm going to put those on back to back. Luckily, I record things way in advance of when I actually get around to editing them. So thankfully, just for the sake of his memory and for the sake of the show, I actually had 2 in the can. So those will be old news by the time we get to this. And you and I are planning, indeed, of course, a tribute show to Nafa. There's a film we've been talking about covering for a very long time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we waited a little too long because I was trying to work out the logistics of a Brad, Nafa, Richard conversation, and so, silly me, I took too long. But, couldn't see the future, and we'll talk about what that film is later.
Okay.
But I'm really excited to finally get to that, and especially in an episode dedicated to his memory. If anybody listening has any ideas, or has any specific moments from Nafa episodes that you like, just let me know. I'm going to be trying to listen to them and trying to pick out things that were just crazy.
I tell you, it never fails when I listen to our promo that when he says, "Pakak, pakak," and she says, "Pakak, pakak," I have never failed to laugh. And I have not heard it since he has gone on, and I don't know that I'm ready to.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is listening to his voice is still pretty difficult for me, but
I can imagine.
Hopefully I've survived his episodes that we recorded. Survived editing, obviously, not, the joy of listening to him is never going to go away. Just
no, sir.
It's a little soon. As the front of the van in Rob Zombie's 31 very succinctly said, "The show must goon." So,
I think he would endorse us being goons.
Oh, absolutely. He absolutely would love the tribute episodes and everything. He was no one who takes that many selfies at 47 years old is above a tribute episode,
Yeah. One of the first things that I thought of after you had broken the news to me was Titusville lost its favorite son.
Oh my God, Titusville. The friggin' mayor of Titusville, Florida, loved Nafa's blog post so much that he was sharing it with his colleagues and had commented on how well written Nafa's piece on, of all places, Titusville, Florida, which is like, I can't even, it's...
It's so funny because I've never been to Miami or Tampa. I've only been to Florida a few times, but I've been to Titusville, and that was something that Nafa and I talked about, was the fact that of all the places, I've been to Gainesville, I've been to Titusville, and then I've been up in the Panhandle. But Titusville, that he loved, is one of the places that I had been. So we shared that. Just totally random, totally off the wall. But yeah, Nafa, man.
Yep. Well, you haven't bathed in the waters of Pine Lake yet, so.
Nope, that's true, but I plan to.
I haven't either, but I'll make you do it.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it is.
It's like Prince, you should bathe in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
Minnetonka.
I've already messed it up. Anyway, it's hard to quote Prince without feeling purple.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that tangent, folks. And again, thank you, sir, for speaking your mind on that.
You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me.
And, Nafa will be back with us in spirits when we talk about that mysterious film.
Yes.
So, The Boogens.
The Boogens.
1981, directed by good old James L. Conway. Now, let me just go and do the research I didn't do.
Right.
Because I think there's probably a good trailer for this. And I will play a trailer for The Boogens right now.
Some things shouldn't be disturbed. Some questions shouldn't be asked. Sometimes it's better not to be so curious, to let well enough alone. If you go looking for trouble, chances are you're going to find it. The Boogens. Rated R.
Starts Friday. Check your local newspaper.
And that was your trailer. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yay! So, how do I podcast? I don't even remember. How do I do this?
Go with your gut.
I'll definitely go with my butt. So, is the Boogens easily available, or is it already out of print?
What I've got is the Olive Blu-ray.
Yes. Good old Olive Films, one of my new favorite companies.
Mm-hmm.
Them and Vinegar Syndrome are getting all my money. And Dorado Films is a close third on those two.
Heck yeah.
The Boogens on Blu-ray, very nice.
No, it's actually got a commentary.
What?
Yes, sir.
Damn. I definitely didn't partake in that.
I listened to a little bit of it.
Cool. I found the VHS tape as distributed by Republic Pictures via Artisan in what looks like the early 90s. So this is a hideous VHS tape. Like, it's one of those VHS tapes that you want to find out who did the layout and just slap them in the mouth. Actually,
I read that it was 1998 was its first VHS debut.
Oh, that would explain why the freaking cover's so awful.
I have no idea why
a
film from 81 took that long to come home video.
And I'm sure that tape was amazing since, it couldn't have been murky at all.
Probably.
So the back of the VHS tape has a Stephen King quote, and I'll do my best Stephen King impression.
Please do.
I actually don't remember what his voice sounds like. So, wildly energetic monster movie, Stephen King, Twilight Zone magazine.
Nailed it.
I think so too. How could I not know what Stephen King sounds? Oh wait, what does he say? This thing called me an asshole.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty spot on there.
Real spot on.
Bam.
Come on over here, sugar bun. This machine just called me an asshole.
All right, so here we go. Here's the plot synopsis from the back of the VHS tape. In a small town near Denver, two young men begin to explore a long-abandoned old mine, recently reopened by a group of miners. That's M-I-N-E-R-S. When one of the men is discovered missing, his friends begin to search that leads them to horrifying consequences. They are all unaware of the evil that has been unleashed, and soon, one by one, the townspeople are snatched up by a monster that no one has yet to see. Suddenly, the grisly truth is revealed, and a young couple is forced to confront the unknown in order to save their lives and the entire town. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Good going, VHS.
Should I read the ISBN?
Yes, please.
It's 078200806-2.
That's tasty.
I won't read the barcode. I think I've done enough. Meow.
So we're gonna jump into this. Spoilers. Also, if you don't like spoilers, don't look this up on IMDb because they show the Boogens.
Yeah.
All the Boogens.
Let it be a surprise.
Thanks, guys. For a movie that depends on not seeing the monster, and it's not one of those Jaws situations where,
Yeah.
Not like this was people were exceeding the grasp of their reach with technology or anything. It's just a Boogen.
Richard does not know this saying. What I believe he means is that his reach will always exceed his grasp, just like being intelligent.
Yeah, that's all it is.
The ones you see on the nature shows, the Boogens.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a pack of them here in town recently.
They flush them down the toilet. Now there's albino Boogens in the toilets.
It's really a menace.
Al Boogens.
Al Boogens.
Folks, I'm a little giddy. Brad and I have upgraded our cell phones.
Yeah, we have.
For the last, the entirety of the show, Brad and I have been fighting with the delay. It's 2.5 seconds, I think, of a delay between us. So if we ever talked over each other, it's because of that delay, and we never could shake it no matter how many phones we went through until we got these damn nicey nice phones.
Exact same phones.
So stupid.
We didn't plan it either.
No, of course. That'd be great if there was a podcaster's plan from Samsung.
Sign me up.
But we were on the phone for approximately 15 seconds before we both went, whoa. Galaxy S7, woo-woo!
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Doesn't mean I won't talk over you anymore.
Now we have to keep the show like the original flavor. We have to really, really work to talk over each other. See, like that?
Like that.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. No, you're sorry. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the plot. I took way too many notes, so I'll try to be brief. I got carried away. I was like doing Jeffrey-style notes here.
Jeffrey-style notes.
And the movie's so simple. Oh, you know what? I didn't do Simon-style notes. Simon did some crazy notes for our...
Did he?
Yeah, for an upcoming episode. He's like, I have 6 pages. And I'm like, you're on the wrong podcast, mister. I have 4.5. Then I realized I miscounted and I only had 3.5. So I had like almost half what he had.
Wow.
So whenever I dropped the ball in that film, Simon would pick it up and dribble. Because he's basketball, Simon.
Do they have basketball over there?
No, it's forbidden.
That's what I thought.
They play squash.
Squash and Plinko.
I was going to say turpentine, but I don't think that's a game.
It can be, but you don't want to play it.
Yuck. So the credits kick in. We get Taft International Pictures. And good old Taft International Pictures. They are responsible for such classics as the TV film The Capture of Grizzly Adams. Something called Earthbound from 1981, which sounds hideous. A family of space aliens crash lands on Earth when their spaceship conks out. Burl Ives is in it. And Christopher Connolly. Never mind, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think you spoke too soon.
Manhattan Baby himself.
That's right.
Is he... We covered that film. Was he the baby?
Yes.
Even Fulci doesn't know.
No.
So yeah, they were a small-time production company, did some stuff. This was distributed by Jensen Farley Pictures, which if you saw this in theaters, you could have seen it with Madman. Yeah, same distribution company.
Really?
Yes. And they also distributed The Gods Must Be Crazy the year before.
Oh boy.
Yep. Saw that a few thousand times as a kid.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't recall seeing the sequel, but
yep, it's bad.
I can imagine.
I mean, it's not, I mean, far be it from me to judge. But in Canada, it was distributed by Citadel Films, which I think is fun because they also distributed something that Simon and I have hinted that we're going to record an episode about, talking about X-Ray, also known as Hospital Massacre. Yep, that was in our list.
Nice.
Gonna happen with If the Queen Wills It.
Well, yeah, I mean, Simon does have to get permission from the monarchy to record with you.
Oh my god. Lord Simon. Come on.
I like the sound of that. Lord Simon.
Me too. So, we get some old-timey photographs after our title card promises us the Boogens. And we get a lot of headlines about Silver City, which is apparently some kind of city made of silver. They probably have a wizard.
I would say so. And
the old-timey photographs, the old headlines talk about a silver strike and how there's a big silver rush. And then, of course, these headlines go from celebratory to sinister when sometime around 1912, people are being attacked in the mine. And eventually they close the mine because there was a big old cave-in. And we cut to present day where we got 2 dudes carrying a generator. Now, who are these 2 dudes, Brad?
These 2 dudes are dudes by the name of Mark and Roger. And they both look like they stepped off the set of Chips right onto the set of the Boogens.
Oh boy. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Fred McCarran, he plays good old Mark, and he was in a couple of cool things. One, he was in Xanadu.
No way.
Oh yeah, man, I love Xanadu. Wasn't the main dude of Xanadu. Wasn't the Xana dude.
I've never seen Xanadu.
Oh my god. I think Elizabeth would enjoy it, and I think you would call me and yell at me. But whatever.
Universal Pictures announces the most dazzling romantic musical fantasy in years. Xanadu. Starring Olivia Newton-John, Michael Beck, and Gene Kelly. It's a love story about a boy and girl from two very different worlds. Xanadu.
He was also in Class Reunion from 1982, which
National Lampoon?
Yes, sir. Which is a comedy horror film that
that is a favorite.
Really? Because I've only seen little bits of it on cable. I've never seen the whole thing.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, my dad taped it. I remember it was a Saturday night. We went to Bowling Green, came home. He had taped it on TV, and I used to watch it. It's a slasher film, and no one likes it but me.
Oh my god. Well, I know my friend Eric. He's a fan of student bodies.
See, and I do not care for student bodies.
See, we'll work it out. It's like when in Exorcist 3, he says, well, when does it all work out? And he says, at the end of eternity.
Yeah, so we just a short wait for that.
Exactly. It's so long, it'll feel soon. So, Jeff Harlan plays Roger, or Raj, as noted in my notes. And let's see, another semi-prolific American dude. I think American. Hopefully he wasn't one of those Canades.
Oh my gosh.
Love Canadians.
So friendly.
And he was actually on Chips for at least 2 episodes.
Was he really? I told you.
Oh yeah, mostly TV stuff, like Doogie Howser and Falcon Crest and Night Court and Magnum P.I. Nice. Nothing horror related that jumps out at me here.
Would you consider Night Court a horror show?
Well, yes, especially when they got to that last season and you were like, okay, you made one too many seasons, guys. Spoiler alert, they beam up Bull to his spaceship.
Back to his home planet.
It's terrible.
There's the shows that you watch when you're a kid and you watch them when you're an adult. You're like, yeah, I like this. I still like it.
Yep.
Then there's the shows you watched as a kid that you see now and you're like, no, sir.
Shit.
No, sir. I do not care for the Night Court.
This is interminable. Like, I mean, how shitty is it that when Mel Torme finally shows up, he's a fucking asshole?
It's about right.
I hated that. I hated how every time, because, Harry was obsessed with Mel Torme, so.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he did show up, he's such a prick. I was like, I don't like this. This is weird.
Mm-mm.
When Tony Bennett was on SCTV, he was a saint.
Absolutely.
Bam. So, Mark and Raj are good time guys. I wrote that Raj is a sex maniac.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that later. They're carrying a generator because they're at this little snowy entrance of a mine. And they're there with 2 workers, Dan and Brian. And, of course, Dan and Brian are played by some old-timey Hollywood people. Brian is played by John Crawford. And this guy was in 218 films.
Wow.
Holy shit. That's a lot. Credits on IMDb, so TV and films. But, I mean, jeez. Towering Inferno, Poseidon Adventure. Just scrolling here. It just never stops.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. So yeah, really cool old-timey dude. I like saying old-timey because I'm ageist. Dan is played by Med Flory, who is also prolific in that he was in The Hearse.
That is one of your favorites.
I'll tell you what, and I've said this on the show before, I hated The Hearse, but I know if I watched it now, I'd probably love it because my tastes have changed.
I was talking to Assassino the other day about The Hearse.
Yep.
He's like, I really want to see it. I'm like, you totally should. It's got Joseph Cotton in it.
Just because Richard said he wants to throw himself down a flight of stairs rather than watch it again doesn't mean it's bad.
No.
That was the old Richard.
Yeah.
Doom Movie-thon's like 12 years old now. I'm probably changed.
Today. That'll give people a hint as to when we're recording.
Yes, everyone remembers their yearly time to celebrate the Doomed Movie-thon. Or they should.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
You know, they've been working in the mines a long time, so they're going to open the mine, try to revitalize it so they can start hunting for that silver again.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going down there, and the rules are simple in the mine, Brad. No fucking around.
That's right.
While Brian is checking the rotten beams by tapping on them with a hammer or banging on them with a hammer, the guys are understandably nervous. There's a shit my pants joke.
Yes.
You guys all right?
Yeah, we're fine.
You smell anything?
No, why?
I just shit my pants.
They're talking about a blind date. Apparently, Trish is the new girl in this foursome here, and Brian is supposed... I mean, not Brian, excuse me. Here we go. Mark is supposed to hook up with her, but he's reticent, even though Raj assures him that he's seen both of her boobs in the hot tub.
Both of them.
Both of them. And I was like, I thought men had moobs.
It's true.
Yay! I got a pair. So, I'm chuckling to myself. It must be the Dune show. They decide to dynamite a caved-in section. There's some great banter between Brian and Dan, like, so, do you want to walk or do you want to run? And so he says, let's walk, and he cuts the fuse, and he's like, well, let's jog. And so they blow up this thing. It's fun. One thing about this film, folks, is the characters. There are almost no wasted characters in this movie.
A lot of good time Charlies.
Exactly.
Right?
We should have an award for, every year we should have the Good Time Charlie Awards.
2017, we're doing it.
Good Time Charlies.
That's right.
Oh, man. What would the ladies? Would they be Lady Charlies?
We'll have to think on that.
1, 2, 3, Marlena's.
There you go.
Did you like when I texted you that a bunch of times?
I didn't understand it.
Oh, Jacob Dylan. What a great songwriter.
Oh, wait. Is that what that is?
Yeah. It got stuck in my head for no reason.
You know, I had that album.
Yes! But you didn't remember the 1, 2, 3 Marlenas?
No, I remember One Headlight.
Oh my god.
Wow, I've Googled it, and there's a picture of Jacob Dylan from the video, and he has the dead eyes.
Don't punch your screen. It's okay. Just relax. He's not trying to hurt you.
You kept texting me 1, 2, 3 Marlenas, and I'm like, I don't get it. You're like, 1, 2, 3 Marlenas, and I'm like, oh, I lied. I'm like, oh yeah.
That's the only way I can be pacified is with lies. I sent it to Jason at work, and he said, Jacob Dylan is obviously Jesus.
There.
Of all the Jesus imagery in the frickin' video.
Boy.
Classic. Anyway, wow. While they're doing all this mine preparing stuff, there's a creepy old coot watching them. I don't remember getting the creepy old man's name.
That's because I don't see it in the cast. He was in...
It wasn't John Lormer, was it?
Blanchard.
He would have been...
That's him, because he's in Creepshow.
Well, another loser. He was only in 169 credits.
Yeah.
Lame.
Star Trek.
He was, of course, veteran TV actor. Oh my goodness, he was in Rooster Cogburn. I have to be careful how I say that.
Do ya? Reverend Goodnight.
Gunsmoke, My Three Sons.
Planet of the Apes, the TV series.
Jeez, it just goes on forever. These old people they're so busy.
They were busy.
But yeah, this is a nice creepy old coot character. We'll be getting back to him. It is now nighttime, and we meet a character who I really thought we were going to spend a lot more time with.
It's a trick.
This is Martha Chapman. She is played by Marcia Dangerfield. You think her name would have helped her stay out of danger? No, she's in the danger field. Duh.
Yeah.
This was an actress that was in things like Footloose, and is it obvious that I'm scrolling?
No. Cool. But I mean, it is now that you've told us.
She played Liquor Store Lady in SLC Punk.
Oh, wow.
And SLC Punk has an exclamation point in the title.
Didn't they make a sequel to SLC Punk?
Man, I'll tell you what, they're making a sequel to Trainspotting.
Anything is possible.
So I'm in the movie theater with Marky Karloff and Carrie Frankenstein, and we are watching a trailer for Trainspotting 2, right?
Right.
And what is it? It's a little, shortened title? T2.
Wow.
And Marky's favorite movie, of all time, is frickin' Terminator 2.
Was he happy about it?
He thought it was hilarious. In Nafa-related news, Nafa had an old Hong Kong VCD bootleg of Terminator 2.
Wow.
So one of those double disc things where you open it. It looks like a CD case, so it looks like the soundtrack. But then when you open it up, one disc is the first half of the movie, and the second disc is the second half of the movie. I was able to get that from Nafa's collection and give it to Marky, and Marky, his eyes were just wide, and he's like, "What is this technology?"
Wow.
He's been referencing VCD players for days afterwards.
Wow. It is a dead technology.
Oh my god. I actually managed to sell one on eBay. I had
Really?
Yeah, I had The Holy Virgin versus the Evil Dead, and someone snatched it up. I was like, "Yay!"
Wow.
Who would have thought?
You know how hard it is to find a VCD player?
Oh, they should play in DVD players. They should.
Really?
Yeah, they should. It's like older DVD players could play them. But yeah, it was just as annoying as a Laserdisc, because it doesn't even tell you that it's time to flip over the movie. It just stops.
Just ends abruptly.
Oh, wonder what happened to those characters. Do they get eaten by the Holy Virgin?
Possibly.
So Martha, while she's driving in the middle of the night on the snowy road, we see her swerve. She nearly kills herself by trying not to hit a deer. And it's funny because she has an "I brake for animals" bumper sticker.
She just proved it.
And then she curses the deer. She says, "Goddamn deer." And she's forced to walk to the house. And I'm already creeped out just by her walking in the darkness to get to the house. And that's the thing, folks. This movie has the atmosphere.
Absolutely it does. Yeah.
The thing that I want to mention before I forget is the gothic horror stuff that's kind of stashed in this movie. This is a nice kind of almost an old dark house kind of a thing. Like if the old dark house was a mine,
I'm with you.
Yeah. So she turns on the lights and she's calling her friend. She's there just to turn the house on, which is, fire up the furnace downstairs and make sure the lights work and all that jazz.
She turned me on.
Oh, yeah. She's very lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the old coot that we talked about earlier, he pulls up in his steam-powered motor car. It's a pretty cool old car. He's peeping in the windows, and she is totally oblivious. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But down in the basement, while she's lighting the furnace, she hears something creepy, which if you don't have your sound cranked on your TV, you're going to miss. Did you hear what she heard, Brad?
I'm not sure that I did.
She definitely reacts to something, but I don't know if I'm just going deaf or what. I couldn't hear it. It's effective, It's just...
Oh, yeah.
Huh? So while she's reading that night, we skip her shower scene for some reason. And while she's reading, she hears something. We get some nice POV shots from the basement. And not, since she's a typical final girl, she grabs a butcher knife. And while she's creeping around in the kitchen trying to see what it is, the door opens when she's not looking, right beside her. It's so good. And something grabs her and pulls her down to the basement, and I'm terrified.
Absolutely you are.
Whew, man, this is so good. Thanks for picking this, by the way, man.
Thank you for allowing me to pick it.
Yeah. So, the next morning, we see the officer towing her car, and this is Deputy Dead Meat here, played by Scott Wilkinson from everyone's favorite movie, The Buttercream Gang.
Did you make that up?
God, I wish I had. Yikes, The Buttercream Gang. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
I think the word bang needs to be in there, too.
The Butter Gang Cream Band.
That's what I meant. I'm not really seeing anything too exciting, although he was on one episode of Walker, Texas Ranger.
There's a sequel to the Buttercream Gang Band.
What?
Called The Buttercream Gang in Secret of Treasure Mountain.
I mean...
Is it too early to spoil what we're covering for Nafa? The Buttercream Gang and Secret of Treasure Mountain.
It's what he would have wanted, Brad.
It's what he would have wanted.
God bless America. Oh, land that I love. Officer Deadmeat is towing her car, and he calls in to report what he's doing, and there's a St. Petersburg, Florida reference, because they're complaining about the weather, and they're asking about, I guess, some other cop or somebody, and she's like, how's the weather in St. Pete? And I was like, oh, man. Referencing the Bay Area. I love it.
Love it. To bring up Manhattan Baby again, isn't there like a pennant on the wall from the Tampa Bay area?
Yeah, the pennant is the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yes.
They're a real kick in the grass, is what their t-shirt says.
Wow. That's continuity.
Man, there's a through line. Wow.
Absolutely.
So back in the mine, they find 3 tunnels that they've opened up from the detonation. There's some discussion about, is this the entrance from the 1912 cave-in? The answer is yes. And we cut to Trish and Jess. We finally get to our ladies. Well, I guess our not dead ladies.
Right, undead.
We got Jess, played by Anne-Marie Martin. And she was in a very famous Doomed Show episode. You want to tell us what it was?
Prom night.
Oh,
everything is all right.
Man, the prom night megasode. And we discovered in that episode that she was also a small part in Halloween 2.
Absolutely, she is. Yep. Practically, I think is it uncredited?
Yeah. She played Rob Zombie's girlfriend.
Right.
No, the other Halloween 2.
Yeah, she is the friend that the nurse has to give a ride home, which makes her late getting to the hospital. And
shit.
Yeah.
Great friend.
She was also in Sledgehammer, the TV show.
Oh my God. Talk about shows from our youth.
Mm-hmm. And she's lovely.
Totally. Yeah, she really stands out. Among the crowd.
Mm.
And the other lady, the other lovely lass here is Rebecca Balding, although she is not balding in this movie.
No.
She is from Silent Scream.
Another Doom Show classic.
Oh, man, that movie doesn't get enough love. Although I think it's getting a Blu-ray soon.
It is. I can't remember who's putting it out, but someone is.
Yay. She was also in Kiss My Grits. Which I think we talked about last time. I think we may have mentioned it before.
Kiss My Grits.
IMDb suggests that we add a plot.
I think it's got plot on its own. We don't have to add it.
The plot's in the title. Kiss My Grits.
Fuck you, IMDb.
There you go.
IMDb's nuts.
Okay, so they talk about naming penises in cars.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Raj has named his thing and his car, and I cannot remember if they actually said the name of the penis or not. I missed that.
Call mine Dick.
What?
I call mine Dick.
Oh, that makes sense.
Little humor.
You mean engorged humor?
Well, at the moment.
Yay!
Oh boy.
Trish has a perfectly reasonable complaint about maps and roads.
Agreed.
She says they should color code them. And when Jessica asks what she's talking about, she's like, the roads! They should color code the roads to match the colors of the roads on the map.
Mm.
So you imagine them just, like, dumping gallons of blue, red, and green paint on the roads. It's pretty good.
Perfectly reasonable.
I love it. As long as they somehow also destroy nature in the process, please.
Ugh, I hate nature.
I paved paradise one time, and I put up a parking lot.
Wow.
Yep. Totally true.
Ooh, pop, 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 pop.
Trish, honey, you're supposed to be the navigator, remember?
Well, I know, but it would be a lot easier if they color-coded the roads to match the maps.
What?
You know, blue roads for the blue lines, red roads for the red lines.
While they're stopped, the dog gets out of the car. Now, we got some great dog acting in this movie. This movie would be nothing without Tiger. And what's bullshit is, unless I missed it, the dog is not credited.
No, the dog's never credited.
Oh, unfair. See, I was hoping for a crazy credits. Remember when IMDb would do crazy credits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't do that for this movie.
No.
Fucker. So the dog runs off. Jess goes to look for the dog. There's going to be no small amount of bitching about Tiger during this movie. Tiger is like a dichotomous character. You hate Tiger and you love Tiger.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It is. It really is. When they're running around, they can't find the dog. They decide to go back to the car, which I guess means they're just like, screw it. Who cares about the dog? And Tiger's on top of the car barking at him.
That's right. He's no dummy.
What a dick move, Tiger. Oh, in my notes, by the way, minors, I always spelled it M-I-N-O-R-S to confuse myself. Yeah, so a bunch of under 18 people are in the cave. They find an underground lake, and there's something moving in the water. And then they find a human skull. And then they find like 24 very human skeletons. There's no bear corpses.
No
muskrat corpses.
I feel like they're concerned, but not concerned enough about all the corpses.
Well, they knew about the cave-in, but the bones are clean, like they're completely clean, and they're all in a huge pile. They're not separated, like they're not all over the mine. They're just in one concentrated location.
Do you remember Syphil and Ollie?
Yes.
Where they have the Precious Roy shopping network, and they're like, the Civil War was the bloodiest conflict in American history. And if you're like me, you're wondering, where are all the corpses? And that is one of Elizabeth and mine's favorite lines of anything ever.
Oh my god. Yeah, Syphil and Ollie was huge for me. What is it?
Gosh.
You're dead, Da Vinci. I'm the world's sexiest teenage man.
They had calls from the public. Calls.
Let's agree that we both need chicken-flavored air conditioning.
Oh my gosh. We've got the anti-pirate, which is a beaver that chews the peg leg off. And the guy calls in, yeah, my dad's a pirate, and you're anti-pirate beaver. Put him out of work, and now we don't have enough food to eat. It's ridiculous.
Oh, the best show ever. God, even that shitty last season was amazing.
Mm-hmm. I say Crescent Fresh a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Folks, he's being real.
Real.
This is Precious Roy! You kids get off my property!
No, Precious, it's the pirate cripplers.
Pirates? You guys are suckers!
Precious Roy, making lots of suckers out of girls and boys.
Trish and Jess show up to the nearly deserted town, good old Silver City, and they make fun of the locals, and then they go to the house, and Jess breaks the bed. The first thing she does is breaks the bed because she's horny. There's no hot water, so now Trish is going to go down to the basement, where there's more creepitude. Well, she lights the frickin' furnace again. I mean, that damn furnace is going to be a pain in the butt later.
Yeah, you can tell.
While she's down, there's a great dog scare where good old Tiger is hiding behind some boxes.
Tiger again.
Now, I'm a cat guy, so I like the cat scares, but I like the dog scares too.
Your equal opportunity pet scare.
Completely. We cut to Raj, the sex maniac, being gross, and he's just talking about gross stuff with good old Mark. Then Brian informs him that he needs to plot stuff because reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so there's some convoluted stuff we're going to skip here. There's some, we'll meet you later to do something. And then Raj, on their way to see the girls, he claims to be the long-lost superhero we all thought died in issue 69 of the Sex Comics. We're talking about Hormone Man.
Hormone
Man, which is every child's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's Hormone Man, not Hormone Man.
Right.
Because all men are whores.
That moan.
Man?
Man.
We cut to Jess screaming while Raj is freaking her, or just tickling her. And Trish is terrified. She was in the shower. She comes in to help because she thinks that Jess is being murdered. And she accidentally, or not so accidentally, exposes her butt to Mark.
And to us, and more importantly.
Yes, more importantly to Brad, and then me, in that order. Then she turns around to talk to Mark, and then exposes her butt to Raj and Jess as well. So everyone's seen her butt now.
Mm-hmm.
Even the dog probably saw it.
Probably Tiger saw it.
So the whole thing is Trish and Mark are supposed to hook up, which is good because the screenwriter wrote a lot of dialogue for them to say to each other.
Right.
But first, Mark's going to talk to Tiger. This is the great character stuff we're talking about, man. This guy has a legit convo with the dog.
Come over here and sit down. I think it's time for a man-to-dog talk. Come up here. Man, boy. You listen to me. This could be a very long winter, especially for you if you don't clean up your act. Now, there's a real cold garage out there with your name on it, pal.
Oh, see, you already know, Tiger.
Oh, only too well.
Yes, it's somewhat similar to a film from the same year where Scott talks and dances with the dog in Friday the 13th, Part 2. So I said, yes. Scott, old boy, what are you going to do with your life?
Oh, man, just be a character. Remember when horror movies had characters, Brad?
Yes, I do. They're mostly catalog titles that I buy on Blu-ray.
Oh, my God. We're watching that Rings movie, and it had some characters, like, that almost had two characters in it. I was real proud of it.
Well,
I was like, hey, you go, movie. You almost had something that could be something there.
Yeah.
Like, what do I always say? Make your main character a stamp collector.
You do say that a lot.
Just do it. Just make them have something about them.
A philatelist.
A what? A philanderer?
A philatelist. Not like... It doesn't mean one who does fellatio. It means a stamp collector.
Good, because I was grabbing the phone book for a second there.
Mm-hmm.
No, just give somebody a stupid hobby or they're afraid of spoiled milk or something. That's great.
Yeah.
What is the fear of spoiled milk called? Let's see. Google me this, Batman. There's a fear of spoiled food, but what's the fear of sour milk? Ooh, it's acerphobia or acerphobia.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, well, riddle me this, Batman.
No, it's Google me this.
Oh, Google me this, Batman. What is the fear of toaster ovens?
Ooh. Not me. I don't have that fear. Let's see. I can't type, so it's taking longer. The question comes up, why does my dog tremble when our toaster oven is on?
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oikophobia.
Oiko?
Oikophobia.
Ooh.
O-I-K-O phobia.
I like it.
Scared of your toaster, your oven, your refrigerator, and every other household appliance that you own.
Wow.
See, the Doom Show is not only entertaining, it's informative.
Yeah, take that, textual relations. We'll teach you stuff.
We didn't have to read a book.
I didn't either.
I can't read.
I'll read to you. It'll be from Raj's sex book.
You know, it's a long and detailed process.
He's seen both boobs, so yep. There you go. So Officer Deadmeat shows up to ask about Martha, and this interrupts Raj and Jess making the sex act, and they don't know where Martha is. They haven't seen her. They decide they're going to go out to the local Greasy Spoon to get some food.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
They leave the dog alone. They leave Tiger at home.
Give the dog a bone, and you leave the dog alone.
They warn Tiger not to chew on anything, and we know exactly what's going to happen then.
Yes.
We go out to dinner. The POV camera angle comes after Tiger, and we get some really great dog acting. Like, only a cold-hearted bastard wouldn't care about what's going on with Tiger.
Yeah. I mean, the Boogens obviously know that the strongest person that could come against them is Tiger, and they've got to deal with this situation.
After Tiger, it's all easy after that, right?
That's right. Easy pickings.
So they're making fun of the food at the bar, or at the diner, and then they're out in the snow leaving, and Roger makes an orgasm joke, so they throw snowballs at him.
It's just some stuff when I was cleaning out the apartment, some soup and a cake mix. I'm gonna make a cake tomorrow.
Hey, you remembered.
What?
Tomorrow's the anniversary of your first orgasm.
And then Raj gets the keys to the thing from Brian at the bar because they have to go to the bar because of those plot stuff and reasons I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Jess immediately beats the hell out of old man Dan in pool. And she says, want to make this interesting? No, do not bet money on pool against this woman.
No, don't.
If anyone, woman, man, child, tiger, if they say to you, want to make this interesting, let's put some money down on this game, say no because they're going to beat you.
Yes, every time.
She cleans these guys out, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, girls can't play pool. It's like, yes, they can.
Yeah, not only can they will.
They're so much more limber than men.
Mm-hmm.
Duh, yoga.
It's inherent advantage.
So Raj goes back to the house because he wants to get some sleep before he has to drive around to get the plot stuff. He finds the kitchen trashed, and he hears a weird sound, and he just ignores it because he figures it's Tiger being Tiger. So he goes to sleep. We cut back. We're back at we're back at the bar, and Mark and Trish are flirting, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
I wish he'd flirt with me like that.
I wish anyone would.
Yes. Elizabeth, come home and flirt.
She's been here for a while now.
Oh, and she's not flirting? That's messed up, bro.
No, she's reading a book. But she won't teach me how to.
No.
It's very frustrating.
Good night, Moon. I'm going to play some of the dialogue here, the banter between good old Mark and Trish, so you can hear how to score with a lady. It's pretty great.
Are you embarrassed?
No, I always react this way when I feel a deep, self-pitying depression come over me.
I see. Does this happen often?
Only when I'm afraid that a pretty young woman might turn me down.
Well, life's a chance, isn't it?
Has anyone ever told you you're a pretty young woman? Oh. Well, they told you you've got beautiful eyes. And a cute nose. And a sexy mouth. They've told you all that. Suddenly I feel I'm slipping into a deep, self-pitying depression.
Oh, please don't stop now. I love the old complimentary approach.
Well, I'm not stopping. I'm just running out. Oh, I know. How about the old soft music back at my place approach? Does that do anything for you?
It's nice music here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. The old moonlight stroll. That always works.
It's snowing.
All right. It's snowing. Well, how about...
How about the old romantic fire in the fireplace approach?
The old romantic fire in the fireplace approach.
It's my favorite.
Have I got a fireplace for you?
Prove it.
Trish and Mark head back to the house, and Jess stays behind so she can continue humiliating the old men with her pool tactics.
Ugh, shark.
When they're heading back, Raj is, he's a sex maniac, as we've established before. So, of course, he gets attacked by a hentai tentacle.
Of course.
Oh, man. He's about to get into the truck and drive away, but then the tentacle cuts his leg and then slashes his throat and just drags him away. He's like, Raj is gone. When Mark and Trish get there, they think he's just gone so that they can make the sex act in front of the fire. And Tiger interrupts because this stupid alive dog, what the fuck?
We're pretty sure that Tiger was a goner.
Yeah, I know.
But he's not.
He'll be in the sequel. Oh, wait. So, the sex, we gotta talk about the sex because it's so intense that it causes Trish to knock over a friggin' coffee table.
That is intense.
Leetta looked at me, just glared at me while we were watching this, because she's like, you never make me knock over fucking furniture, man.
Liar.
What?
Liar.
Oh yeah, Leetta says I'm a liar because I totally make her knock over the furniture.
Absolutely.
Oh no, wait, she meant I didn't say that. Or she did, forget it.
Question. Would a sequel be called The Boogens 2, Electric Boogens U?
No, it would be called Tugans.
Tugans.
I liked yours better, though.
Oh, yours was good.
Oh, man, we're both right.
Yep.
Tugans would be the German VHS tape.
Yeah, it would be.
Tugans.
Released in 2007.
Oh, man, classic Tugans. Electric Boogens, you. That's good.
Thank you.
The next morning, Tiger's missing. Mark is being nice because he agrees to totally be late for work so we can look for the dumb dog. And he finds a tunnel in the basement. And he's like, whatever. We're talking serious tunnelage here in the frickin' basement. It's like there's some boards over it, but it's totally open. It's just these carved out of stone into the basement. It ain't right, man.
Not a bit.
Oh, yeah. They find the dog, and Tiger is shivering. And before he can go to work, Jess is like, hey, Mark, isn't Trish, like, really neat? He's like, yeah, she's pretty neat.
Ugh.
I was like, God, just go to the frickin' jewelry store and buy that engagement ring already.
Yeah, just do it.
Do it. You've already sinned, idiots.
He went to Jared.
So at the mine, they find a bunch of crucifixes nailed together and put in the ground in front of the caves, in front of the mine, and it says, death to all who enter, or whatever. And while they're ignoring that ominous warning, the old man steals some dynamite because he's planning a party.
That's right.
We cut to good old Trish. She's been a writer this whole time. And while she's researching the story of the mine at the newspaper office, I'm looking at my notes. I wrote, down in the mine, Mark notices the bones are weird.
Where are all the corpses?
Oh, shit. I love it. I've just got so many freaking, like, a Rolodex of quotes from Syphil and Ollie running through my mind now. Precious Roy. Selling me
Precious
stuff.
Roy.
Anyway.
Suckers!
We should just do an episode on that.
We should.
Let's see. Jess lets Tiger out into the snow. While she's going to the garage, she finds out that Raj's truck is still there. Now, Raj was supposed to leave and drive across the thing to go to plot reasons and stuff.
Plot stuff.
And so she's freaked out, but not freaked out enough to sing in the shower later. But we'll get to that.
We're getting there.
Yep. Trish finds out the articles about the old mine. The lady who runs the mine is really cute. Runs the newspaper is really cute. I believe that this is a character named Victoria. She was an actress named Peg Stewart.
Peg!
Could be short for Peggert.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in Beyond...
The Boogens.
Oh, she's in the Boogens and Beyond Death's Door.
Ooh.
Which sounds like fun. A prostitute and a skier who have been brought back from the brink of death relate their experiences to a skeptical doctor who begins to believe them.
Wow.
What?
She's in Werewolf, which there's been a lot of talk about Werewolf lately on the old Facebook.
Werewolf?
Do you remember Werewolf?
The TV series?
Yeah, Fox.
From the 80s, right?
Yes, sir.
I remember.
Yes, sir.
I remember the 2-hour premiere scaring the living hell out of me.
Yes.
When it aired, I loved it.
Shout Factory was ready to put out the complete series on DVD.
Whoa.
When Mike and the Mechanics and somebody else would not allow their songs. And since it was all recorded together,
oh no,
they couldn't remove the songs.
Oh no.
Mike and the Mechanics.
Cock blocking werewolf.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Man, look at us.
I remember. Yeah, I remember the TV ads.
Yeah.
And everything. It was scary.
Nice.
Chuck Connors was in it.
With an eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm looking at it in my hand, and it's worth keeping.
Please do.
I just did.
Boy, I can remember a lot of stories about those cave-ins. Yeah. Oh, what's this? Lieutenant Lee Mull of the U.S. Army was sent up from Denver to supervise the rescue operation. By the time he arrived on Tuesday, however, the rescue attempts had been abandoned. That's funny. They don't say why they gave up. Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, they couldn't spell worth beans in those days. You should see these typos.
Listen to this. It has been suggested by some that it was actually miner Harold Griswold who caused the tragedy. Griswold, the only man to survive the cave-in, was unable to testify in the Denver court yesterday concerning the so-called Black Friday mine disaster and was returned to the hospital for further mental evaluation.
She learns stuff about the mine and that there was a survivor, and his name is Mr. Coot, Mr. Old Coot. We'll get back to him in a moment. There's a great fake scare where Dan and Brian are taking samples, and I believe Brian scares the living bejesus out of Dan. It's awesome. I just love these characters, dude.
They're, you know what? They're great characters.
Oh, man, so many likable people. This ain't a slasher.
Yeah, you're totally right. That's one way they drop the ball these days, is they don't have likable characters.
Just telling you, Oh my God.
Are the Boogens after?
The Boogens after my favorite character, Lietta.
Run, Lietta!
Get out of there! While Jess is showering and singing, frickin' She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain When She Comes, which... Not the song I thought she'd sing when, she's worried about her boyfriend, but I don't think she's really worried about Raj. In fact, I think she has a long conversation with Trish earlier about how Raj is not marriage material.
Wow.
Because all of his kids would just be beer-drinking clones of him.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel about old Raj.
Well, he's a sex maniac.
He is.
While she's singing, Tiger has tentacle trouble. And the tentacles are coming up through the vent in the floor and bending the frickin' metal. It's really friggin' cool. The tentacles get Tiger, so Tiger got gotten, just like Martha got gotten earlier. Trish gets out of the shower and investigates, and then the tentacle grabs her arm and damages her with its sharpness. And then she almost gets gotten, but she runs into a closet, and the frickin' Boogens, these tentacles with sharp claws on them, actually break the door down, and she gets gotten. Down in the mine, we're almost to the end, folks, I promise. So down in the mine, Dan's like, there's something in the water, and he's like, we're gonna need a bigger pickaxe. Shark goes in the water. Our Boogens. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and Boogens are in my bed.
Tugans.
Jaws, everybody. Jaws 2, the Tugans. So they find this thing that's floating in the water, and it is Roger's corpse. And wow, look at his face. Just look at it. Raj looks like he sneezed too hard. His face exploded. And right when they're dealing with that, the old Coot shows up with the dynamite. And there's a nice standoff when he's going to blow the place to smithereens. They are like, we totally believe you, old man. Don't blow us up. We believe you about these Boogens. Mark runs off to go check on the girls. Then the tentacles grab Dan and make off with him. And then they go after the old man. And the old man is terrified. I keep saying old man. I mean old Coot. The old Coot is terrified. And his last words are, Boogens. Boogens.
Yeah.
Nice. Ugh. He fails, of course, to blow it up. He nearly blows up Brian.
These here tunnels go everywhere under the town. They connect with the houses. Your blasting opened them up. They crept through the tunnels and got him.
Tunnels? There's a tunnel to the house. The girls.
Get them out. You've got to get them out quick.
Come on, for God's sake, get them the hell out of there. And bring some help. Hurry!
They put my old dad in an asylum after the big cave-in. Ain't no one would ever believe him. I've been checking on these here tunnels all these years, making sure they was shut up tight. Checking on the tunnels into the houses, too.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's all going to be taken care of one way or another, huh?
That was my job.
Well, you see, we want to help you, don't we, Dan?
Right.
See, we want to help you do your job, and if you just...
No. You opened up the tunnels. You let them up. You wouldn't stay away when I warned you. Now I got it blasted closed again.
Mark tries to call, it doesn't work, so he heads back to the house, and he calls the cops first. Unfortunately, the police representative in this film is Deputy Deadmeat.
Mm-hmm.
And Trish is back at the house first, and she finds a pool of blood, and she follows the trail to the basement. She's awesome because she grabs a frickin' pitchfork and a flashlight. Trish don't play.
No, she don't.
She finds Jess's torn up body, and then a Boogens grabs her by the leg. Officer Deadmeat manages to distract the Boogens, and we finally see the Boogens. What does a Boogen look like to you?
Kind of like a scary turtle with tentacles, sharp teeth.
That's sort of how Leetta described it, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It reminded me of the creature from The Kindred a little bit.
I haven't seen The Kindred. I've listened to the podcast that you and Jeffrey did on it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's the movie is strange enough to make up for the failings in the monster. You know, the Boogens are okay. They're not. It's not like I was so disappointed that I posted pictures of them on the frickin' IMDb page.
Right.
But you know, they're suitably dangerous. That's for sure.
Surely.
They attack Officer Deadmeat in his face by biting his face. And they're really hard to kill, which I think is great.
Yes.
They're shooting it, stabbing it with all implements and everything, and it still manages to take out all these people. They have to go down through the mine to get away from the Boogens because, of course, everything's on fire. During the struggle, the stupid furnace is shooting frickin' fuel everywhere.
It happens.
Oh, man. So they end up down in the tunnels where they find out Brian is still alive. And he's a little worse for wear, but he's truly alive.
Truly.
And they find some dynamite, and they start setting dynamite everywhere to blow up the Boogens. But then they have to leave because Brian gets gotten. Man, the only noticeable, mistake in all of this set, because the sets are really impressive, and they do actually film part of this in a real mine. There is a moment where they bump into the wall and the rock moves, it shudders a little bit. Leetta caught that one. So they do manage to get out in the nick of time and blow up the Boogens, or at least seal the entrance to the mine. And I think that's the end of the movie.
Bingo.
Whew, man, that was a lot of plot. I did it.
It's a lot of plot. You did a great job.
Thank you. I was so glad it wasn't The Church, directed by Michele Soavi.
Oh my gosh, I don't envy you there, my friend.
That was the 6 pages of Simon's notes.
I believe it. I believe it.
So, yeah, man.
Do you want to take a quick break and then come back and wrap up our Boogens talking?
That's entirely up to you. I can go or not go.
Let's go ahead and take that quick break. I need a refill here.
All right.
We'll be right back, folks.
No, it's all right. It's all over. We stopped them.
So the Boogens, y'all. Let's see, little bits of tidbits here. There's a lot of trivia on IMDb. Only one creature was made for this film, which not too surprising the way they cut the Boogens into the film. Anne-Marie Martin, who plays good old Jess, agreed to do nudity at first, and then decided to not do her nude scene, so which is why her shower scene is so tame.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. So, Rebecca Balding actually married the director.
They're still married.
That is awesome.
Married during the filming of this.
Cool. The mine's interiors, that the ones that weren't actually a real mine, was built out of a disused grocery store.
Really?
Yep. There were 2 different dogs that played Tiger. That's why the acting's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiger is a Bichon Frise, not a poodle.
Oh, well.
There you go. Some believe that the Boogens is an actual term once used by miners to describe the fear some would experience while spending too much time in the deep mines. In fact, it was actually a word fabricated by screenwriter David O'Malley using the word boogeyman as its root.
Yes.
The climax of the film was filmed in real time. Oh, in real time. In a real mine. Such an idiot.
That's funny.
Oh my god, that was great. The last day of shooting took 20 hours, which explains why it was filmed in real time. This had 3 different writers on it. And David O'Malley, he also wrote that comedy classic Fatal Instinct. Which I think is funny. It's not as funny as Stephen Chow parodying Basic Instinct in Fight Back to School 3, but it had some jokes. He was an uncredited writer on something called Hangar 18, which is an action bio sci-fi film from 1980 that James L. Conway directed, so they worked together on this film. And it's got Robert Vaughn in it, and it looks pretty interesting. Darren McGavin is in it, so...
Winner.
Good times there. I'll have to look up Hangar 18. It sounds fun. That's how fun it sounds to Lietta. Let's see. This was... the not memorable music was made by Bob Summers.
This had music?
Yeah, we went through the whole movie without once mentioning the music. It's fairly, prolific composer here. He did music for Body Count and The Eliminators. Oh, and
the Ice-T Band?
Yes. He definitely composed all of their police shooting music. And he did Eliminators and The Annihilators back to back. That's fucking awesome.
Wow.
Hopefully his music for One Dark Night is much better, because I've still never seen that.
One Dark Night?
Yep, I still haven't watched that.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
Nice. Cinematography by Paul Hipp. Paul Hipp shot Devil Times 5, so he was one of the people responsible for all that slow motion. Nice going, dude.
The Devil Times 5 leaves nobody alive.
I swear that movie would be 20 minutes if they took out all that frickin' slow motion. Last but not least, let's look at some of these producers here. What are these people responsible for? What entertainments have they provided us, Brad? They all worked on the same shit together. It's so cute.
It is cute.
I love it. Guys, will we be friends forever as long as we make the Grizzly Adams movie?
So not that long, really. But it was good while it lasted.
It's about as long as this show will last. But longer.
But longer.
Forget it. So I'll probably think about cutting that part.
Okay.
So Brad, how do you like the Boogens?
I like the Boogens. I did not see this film until the Blu-ray came out because I was not able to source the 1998 VHS tape. It is from probably my favorite year in horror, which is 1981, and the Boogens, while not a slasher film, is only missing a slasher villain.
Yeah.
It has got the disturbing thing that happened in the past. It's got the harbinger that says,
"Don't you go messing around in this mine."
And then it's got the POV shots like we talked about. It's got 2 lead actresses from other slasher films. It is a lot of fun. It's one that Elizabeth really enjoyed when we watched it. I wasn't this last Christmas, but the Christmas before when I got it with some Christmas Amazon cards. I thought it would be a great one to do on the show, and I have seriously enjoyed myself this evening.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one based on your recommendation. You were talking up the Boogens, and I finally saw it, and I was like, this is pretty special. So when you proposed that we do it up in our 2017 Spectacular, I was more than happy to revisit this one. And, you're so right about the slasher thing. That's so funny. I was kind of waiting for someone to get a Valentine's Day with a freaking heart in it.
Absolutely.
I absolutely recommend this to anybody to check this one out, especially if you like early 80s horror. It's really well paced. It's definitely more fun to watch than to take notes on, but
true. There's
a lot of simple stuff, that kind of just flies by, and you're like, whoa, that was pretty economical storytelling. I can imagine that this movie probably frustrated a lot of people when it was on VHS. I think there's a VHS rip up on YouTube, and it's pretty dark. So I could see this movie not as bad as something like Humongous, which Humongous was unwatchable on VHS back in the day. So.
Absolutely, it was.
But I really, I love Humongous. That's so good.
Humongous. God help us.
The Boogens, top-notch good times, and I think that kind of wraps it up for me.
That sums it up.
The alumni of, people from prom night, just with, was it Rebecca Balding? Or no, I'm sorry.
Rebecca Balding was in Silent Scream, and Anne Marie was in Prom Night.
Thank you. So yeah, those two, just from their other slasher movies, makes me happy. It's like when Jeffrey and I were doing Iced. Speaking of snowbound, wintry movies, we were talking about not one, but 2 people from Slumber Party Massacre in that movie. So it's
well, that's another movie that it's just a VHS rip, isn't it?
Yeah, nobody's really put out a good copy of that yet. But they should.
Yeah, they should.
Because more people need to see Iced.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
it's a fun one. It's a fun one.
Hell yeah. Well, Brad, thank you so much for joining me, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure this evening.
If any of my podcaster friends are out there, just take a moment and go hug your co-host, especially if your co-host is Brad.
Well, that's just you.
Just hug him. I'll be right there.
Okay.
Hugs, not drugs. Yeah.
I'm losing it.
Losing it.
It's been lost.
It's gone.
That's what I thought you were going to say. All right. Good night, folks.
See ya.
Hello, This is the Doom Show is a proud member of the Legion Podcast Network. Please check out the other shows at legionpodcasts.com. If you want more of Hello, This is the Doom Show, check out doomedmoviethon.com or hellodoomedshow.podomatic.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at doomedmoviethon or email the show doomedmoviethon@gmail.com. We're also in the air. Look up. Well, hello, my dear friends. I am Baron Martino, and when I am not in Italy murdering beautiful fashion models, I enjoy hosting a little show called The Giallo Room. Giallo is basically the Italian word for yellow that often referred to cheap mystery novels with yellow covers published by Mondadori in the early 1900s. However, it later became the namesake of a notorious genre of films that peaked in the early 70s after Mario Bava, Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, Sergio Martino, and many other talented Italian filmmakers introduced audiences to a new style of film that incorporated ornate cinematography, a pulsating soundtrack, beautiful female victims, and a black love killer, all together with a thrilling twist ending. Join me, won't you, as I share my unhealthy obsession of Giallo with you all in the Giallo Room. You can find the Giallo Room at youtube.com/c/The Giallo Room Show and facebook.com/The Giallo Room, as well as your closest participating adult film store. As always, my friends, grazie.
Looking for something different in your podcast library? Then why not check out the Podcast Under the Stairs? I'm the host, Duncan McLeish, and joining me each week will be a special guest as we examine some classic, old-school horror favourites, as well as some modern classics. That's not to say that we don't tackle some of the, let's say, more questionable entries into the horror genre. And if all that wasn't enough, we have a subset of shows called Baz v Horror, where our horror novice, the Baz, tackles horror in all shapes and forms to see who will come out victorious. So what are you waiting for? The show can be found at podcastunderthestairs.wordpress.com and on Stitcher and iTunes. The Podcast Under the Stairs is a proud member of Legion Podcast Network. This is Duncan McLeish from Under the Stairs, signing off.